This video is sponsored by AG1. Over the years, I've gone back and forth on whether or not I think kids should fight. My original opinion was they should compete in combat sports, but not fight full contact. But since then, I've done commentary on a lot of kickboxing shows and seen some fights up close and personal involving kids who definitely were ready and capable of defending themselves in a full contact fight. And also, even without full contact, I've seen some really heartbreaking stuff at grappling tournaments, which I'll talk about later. But with full contact, I always thought, no, we'll just train them and prepare them, and when they're 18, they can make their own choices about whether or not they want to fight. But there's two problems with that. One, they're gonna be way behind the competition. I have 20-year-old guys who want to be pro fighters, have never been punched in the face, and I've met 15-year-olds that can kick my ass. And two, most of the wear and tear and most of the damage and most of the injury in your early combat sport career comes in training, not the ring or cage. I recently had the honor of commentating this fight between two young ladies at Fight For It 15. It was the first time I'd ever seen a kid's MMA fight, let alone seen one live, let alone done commentary on it. I'm gonna show you the whole fight and break it down for you. And it wasn't until I saw this fight, which was eye-opening, that I finally settled on what my opinion is on kids fighting. And it has nothing to do with their age, it has nothing to do with their ability level, and it has nothing to do with the level of contact in the sport. Because none of the dangers are in the cage. Those of you who are coached by your dad already know where I'm going with this. I am a full-time parent that's informed my decision-making and my opinion on this. Being a full-time dad, being a full-time coach, being a full-time YouTuber, and now a part-time commentator and analyst, I don't have a lot of time, so I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, AG1. AG1 is a foundational nutrition drink that I drink regularly. I travel a lot, whether that's going to teach seminars, going to make YouTube videos, or traveling to do commentary on kickboxing and MMA cards. I can't get sick, I don't have a lot of time. I need something like this that supports my immunity, provides me with nutrients, vitamins, minerals. AG1 is a comprehensive nutrition supplement that provides nutrients for body, brain, and gut health. I'm getting 75 vitamins and minerals that support my immune system and give me peace of mind knowing I can get comprehensive nutrition even with my busy life. On top of support for my immune system, AG1 supports cardiovascular health, it supports healthy, clear, brighter skin. I just genuinely feel better on the days that I drink it, and I'm less stressed because I know I've at least got my nutrition under control for the day. Plus, it's gluten-free, dairy-free, it's keto-friendly, vegan-friendly. Whatever your thing is, it's okay to drink this. And it's smooth. It doesn't taste like much. I've always said if nutrition was a flavor, that's what it tastes like to me. Everything that they send you to, like the bottles and the canisters, they're all really nice stuff. Go to the link down in the description below, drink AG1/hard to hurt to get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 plus 5 travel packs. Thanks to AG1 for sponsoring this video. But when this kid's MMA fight, when the announcer started calling their names, this is Willow Lyles coming to the ring, or the cage rather, the place went ballistic. And yes, that's Brian Battle over her shoulder. That's Brian Battle in her corner from Carolina Combat Club. I'm a huge mark for Brian Battle. But we're beginning to see what my criteria is for whether I believe a kid should be in there or not. And Willow's displaying it right now. Comment below, before we get too deep into it, what do you think? When do you think it's appropriate for kids to fight? Like, when do you think that's okay? What rule style? What do you think is okay? If you say a jiu-jitsu tournament's okay, I got bad news for you. Now, Ellie Moon, look at the body language and you might be thinking something. You're wrong. Spoiler alert. You think, well, clearly one of these kids is raring to do this and one of them's not. You're wrong. I want you to look at the fight IQ and the things on display right away. Push kick, teep kick, tie clinch, and look at the head and arm takeover, and she finishes it. And Dylan made a good point in the broadcast that like women's MMA and that head and arm, headlock takedowns or head and arm throws is so common. But look at the legs. Look at the bottom work from Willow Lyles. You tell me that's not an MMA fighter. That's not a grappler. She's recovering her guard, looking for an armbar, and look at Ellie's face, unbothered. She's been there before. With the ground and pound, and they can't hit each other in the face. Watch, she clamps that armbar on, but Ellie immediately goes to the defense, stacking her, crossing her arms.
She doesn't have to get. She doesn't even have to get Ellie to tap. She just has to straighten her arm.
And what Dylan said there is she doesn't actually have to get Ellie to tap. She just has to straighten the arm, and then it'll be called. So she has to defend it even more fervently. But the composure, both these girls working on their thing. Look at the hips, the way she's turning her hips sideways and getting heavy, stacking Willow up. And then Ellie's going to hop over and make her escape. And it was just crazy to me to witness. I've seen adult fights with professionals where the grappling wasn't this high level. And thankfully I had Dylan there to explain to me a lot of what was going on, because I was brought in as the kickboxing expert. And we see the combination punching, and you see punches are still landing in the face, but they're not flinching or complaining. And look at that. It was a good takedown attempt, but Ellie maintained that top position. And then to the scarf hold. But look at those legs creeping up again. What's going on here is just bonkers to me. Especially if you know grappling, you realize that all the stuff they're doing is not stuff that you just pick up. You know, it's not stuff that you just... And look at the smile on that young lady's face, on Willow, before she ran to the corner. But I want you to watch the corners here, because the corner is where it gets crazy. Look into their faces. Look at those nods.
And their instinct is to just not concede position.
And their coaches are giving a ton of cornering advice early on. And look how calm they are. I've cornered a lot of fights, and I've called a lot of fights. That's a level of composure and focus that you don't very often see among any types of fighters. We're about to begin round 2, and you're going to see more of the same. It just gets better and better. Third round's the best. But the crowd was going absolutely bananas for these young ladies. And look at, she's looking for that trip, fighting for a takedown. Willow's defending. We get a little sloppy in the striking, but no sloppier than some of the adult fights I've seen, no sloppier than some pro fights I've seen. And they can't punch to the head, which makes it all awkward. Big knees. That knee hurt. That knee hurt. But Willow stayed in there. These knees don't feel good. You have to remind adult Muay Thai fighters that they can throw knees in the clinch. So the striking's good too. And the fact that they're mixing it. And look. Looks for that headlock again. Went to the well one too many times. That knee, those knees hurt. I don't understand how they're not. Like, my kids are tough. You know, but I don't know that my daughter could take that knee like that. And my daughter trains. She would yelp. She would make a noise like a squeaky toy. And look at this. Whoa! Get down. Ellie's gonna wind up on top. Ellie's determined to be on top. She's got a clear goal in mind, which is to be on top. Looking for knee on belly, and watch this exchange. There's a reversal. But we're not done yet. There's another reversal. And look at wait till you see these knockout ring girls that are right here behind the young ladies. Those are the ring girls. The fight for it knockouts, I think is what they were calling them. They're a little bit excited now. You see them taking video. But you'll see in the third round what these young ladies... Look, she's a little bit like, oh, I don't know about that. But wait until the third round watch how the ring girls react. These young ladies are putting on an inspiring performance. And that's why I've kind of come around on kids fighting. This fight right here opened my eyes. And that's the end of round 2. We saw a ton of crazy action that night. Fight For It is a cool promotion. They have kickboxing matches, MMA matches, lots of fights. There were some comebacks, some wild finishes, and it's got me on commentary. We're going to be doing it again September 16th at the Benton Convention Center in Winston-Salem. If you click the link in the description below, you can either buy tickets to the live event or order it on pay-per-view. The production value is really high, and they treated me really well, so I enjoyed working with them. And I saw the caliber of the fighters on this card, and I noticed that fighters that fight for this promotion tend to come back, which tells me some things about them. But this third round coming up is something else. She gets right back on that Thai clinch. Now she's got an underhook. She's made adjustments because it didn't work quite as well for her the second time as it did the first. She looks for a trip. and almost gets it, but Willow's wise to her game, and now Ellie's been able to come out on top so many times, but Willow is fighting this dog fight position, and look who ends up on top. What a story. What a story for Willow to end up on top. And look at the composure on Ellie's face. She's still getting to work. She's pushing with her hips. And one thing that I made a point to talk about in the broadcast, you look at these young ladies and look at the skills that Ellie's using here. These are self-defense skills. She's got a real badass little kid on top of her trying to hurt her. And she's able to minimize that damage and even make an attempt at escaping and control the posture of that person on top. Willow's going to sit through for a slick attempt at an armbar, but Ellie's going to escape and come out on top. And look at the knockouts. Look at the ring girls. That one skeptical ring girl is now marking out over there. The headlock again. She's just gone to the well one too many times. That's what she's going to take away from this. She's going to be like, God, the headlock worked for me, but I had to come off of it. Look at the ring girls like pushing each other. Like, can you believe what you're seeing?
Yeah, so she can get more. When you can't strike the head, mount's not that great. Right, you're absolutely correct. And it's not a great submission position either. Yeah. Oh, crucifix. Full on crucifix. Good top night. Crucifix for Lyles. Ellie doing a good job trying to use that underhook to defend. She's got to build a base and get out of there. Look at this sprawl by. Oh! Gave a roll from Lyles. The last big fight, the last big moment of the fight, it would seem, as Lyles ends the fight on top, throwing bombs to the body. What a fight.
Look at the sportsmanship in the ring between the coaches, between the kids. They high-five each other's coaches and dap each other's coaches up. And there's none of the tears, none of the crying, none of the nonsense that you see at children's sporting events sometimes. Which brings me to the real danger of kids, not just combat sports, but sports period, kids sports period. Danger's not in the sport. Sure, there's concussions, bloody noses, broken bones. I don't care about any of that. I don't care if my kid gets a bone broken. I don't care if they bleed a little bit. I'd prefer them not to get a concussion, but I understand that if they live their life well and they push themselves to their limits, it's bound to happen. The real danger's from outside of the ring, and it's the expectations of people that are not the athlete. When you coach adults, you have to manage two sets of expectations. You have to manage their expectations and your expectations. But when you coach children, you have to manage three. But the most important one is still the athlete. Of course, your parents believe in you. Maybe I believe in you. But you've got to believe in you to get into that cage. Whether you're 8, you're 18, you're 80. The most important decision-making factor about whether or not a kid should fight is, do they want to? These two amazing athletes put on a hell of a fight. Not just a good fight for kids. That was just a good fight, period. But that's my opinion on whether or not kids should fight. Thank you, AG1, for sponsoring this video. It's real good stuff. I don't say things I don't believe. AG1 did sponsor the video, but I drink it. And when I drink it, I feel better.
Your winner, coming to you out in the red corner, Willow Lyles.
That was not a good youth fight. That wasn't a good kids fight. That was just a good fight. It was just a good fight, period. Just a good fight, period. Exactly, Mike.